He was an Olympian who allegedly became a drug kingpin and ended up on the FBI's 10 most wanted list. It's February 2002, Salt Lake City, Utah, the Winter Olympics. Ryan Wedding steps into the starting gate for the men's parallel giant slalom. He's 20 years old, representing Team Canada. He's living the dream. Bronze medal at the 1999 Junior World Championship, silver in 2001. This is it. This is the Olympics. And he comes out of the gate aggressive, but it's too aggressive. The snow is softer than he realized, so his board carves too deep. He loses speed. He finishes 24th. It's not a medal. It's not even close. Now, for most athletes, that's disappointing, but it's respectable. You've been to the Olympics. You go home, you train harder, you try again in 4 years. But Ryan Wedding didn't go that route because 22 years later, in 2024, the FBI would add him to their 10 most wanted fugitives list. Not for doping, not for fraud, but for running one of the largest cocaine trafficking operations in the world, for ordering multiple murders, for becoming what the FBI director calls a modern-day Pablo Escobar. The reward for his capture? $15 million. So how does an Olympic snowboarder become an international drug kingpin? What the hell happened? This is Olympic Crimes. Ryan James Wedding, born September 14, 1981 in Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada. At 15, he made the Canadian national ski team, and in 2002, at just 20 years old, he competed at the Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City. Again, he finishes 24th, and after that, he's done with competitive snowboarding. There's no sponsorships, there's no endorsement deals, there's no fame, there's no fortune. He's now just a guy who's been to the Olympics. And now he had to figure out what comes next. And the answer to that completely changes the course of his life. After the Olympics, he moves back to Vancouver. He enrolls at Simon Fraser University. He starts working as a bouncer at a nightclub. After 2 years, he drops out. And that's when things really begin to shift. He starts growing marijuana. Not a small operation. We're talking 6,800 plants, $10 million worth. In 2006, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, they raid the farm. They find a shotgun, ammunition, all that cannabis, and he gets arrested. But this is Canada in 2006. Marijuana charges, not the end of the world. But what happens next is where the story gets really dark. It's June 2008 in San Diego, California. Ryan Wedding and 2 associates drive down from Vancouver to buy cocaine, 24 kilograms. The meat goes down. The cocaine changes hands, and that's when the FBI moves in. The supplier was working undercover. Wedding is arrested on the spot. His trial happens in November 2009. They find him guilty. March 2010, he's sentenced to 48 months in federal prison. Fast forward the clock, December 7th, 2011. He's done. He served his time. He walks out of prison. And what he does next makes his 2008 arrest look like shoplifting. So after his release, Wedding flees to Mexico, and according to federal prosecutors, he builds an empire. Like, this guy might not have been great at snowboarding, but he can do an empire. He starts working with the Sinaloa cartel, one of the most powerful drug cartels in the world. His operation moves cocaine from Colombia through Mexico into Southern California and up into Canada. According to FBI testimony, Ryan Wedding's organization moved approximately 60 tons of cocaine per year. 60 tons! Boats, planes moved drugs from Colombia to Mexico. Long-haul semi-trucks smuggled it across the U.S. border into Southern California. Los Angeles became the hub of cocaine, stored in stash houses, then transported to Canada, the East Coast. Law enforcement seized over $3.2 million in cryptocurrency and $255,000 in cash. But that's just what they found. He was living in Mexico under the protection of the Sinaloa cartel. His nickname? El Jefe, the boss, giant for his 6'3" frame, public enemy. Because he wasn't just moving drugs, he was eliminating anyone who got in his way. November 20th, 2023 in Ontario, Canada. Late at night, a family is renting a home in a quiet neighborhood. It's a married couple visiting from India. They're here to see their children. Their 28-year-old daughter, 𝗬𝗎𝗪𝗏, is with them. And suddenly, at least one gunman bursts through the door. Gunfire erupts. The father is shot in front of his daughter. His wife screams, then silence, except for the gunshot. The wife is then hit 13 times. Her father is dead. Her mother is dead. But somehow 𝗬𝗎𝗪𝗏, the daughter, survives. Later from her hospital bed, she says, "My father was shot in front of me. I heard my mother's last screams. After that, there was complete silence, only the noises of gunshots." She suffered life-altering injuries. And here's the worst part. This family had nothing to do with drugs. They were innocent. According to U.S. prosecutors, Ryan Wedding and Andrew Clark ordered the hit. They believed someone had stolen 300 kilograms of cocaine from their operation, and they wanted revenge. But they got the wrong house. The Snowboarders were mistakenly targeted. A couple visiting their children murdered because a drug lord got bad intelligence. And it wasn't the only murder that Wedding was ordering. The body count just keeps going up. May 2024, Ontario, Canada, Muhammad Zafar, a 39-year-old, was killed over a drug debt. April 2024, Niagara Falls, Ontario, Randy Fatter, 29, shot once in the head in his driveway, execution style. Payment for the hit, $100,000 plus expenses. According to court documents, Andrew Clark supplied the shooter with 2 guns and a 2023 Ford Explorer as a getaway vehicle, but the worst was yet to come. January 2025, Medellin, Colombia. A federal witness in the U.S. government's case against Ryan Wedding is scheduled to testify. Ryan Wedding, he knows this, and according to prosecutors, he decides the witness can't make it to trial. So Wedding allegedly posts photos of the witness and his wife on a Canadian website trying to locate him. Then he allegedly places a multi-million-dollar bounty on the witness's head. So the witness is eating at a restaurant in Medellin when the assassins arrive. He's shot multiple times in the head. He's killed before he can testify. Wedding believed wrongly that killing the witness would get the charges against him dismissed, but it didn't. It just added murder and witness tampering to the indictment. Now let's talk about the manhunt. It's October 17, 2024 in Los Angeles, California. The U.S. Department of Justice unseals a superseding indictment against Ryan Wedding and 15 others. The charges: leading a continuing criminal enterprise, cocaine trafficking, 3 counts of murder, 1 count of attempted murder, witness tampering, money laundering, and the operation is codenamed Operation Giant Slalom, a nod to Wedding's Olympic event. Now, if convicted, Wedding faces a mandatory minimum sentence of life in federal prison. But there's a problem. No one knows where he is. He's believed to be somewhere in Mexico under the protection of the Sinaloa cartel. In January 2024, FBI agents spotted him at a Starbucks in Mexico City. They had an informant wearing a wire. The informant met with Wedding and Andrew Clark. Clark was recorded bragging allegedly about moving 2 to 3 tons of cocaine per month into Canada, including 600 kilograms into Alberta. When the burrito asked for a name on the order, Wedding said Ryan. Like, no alias, no fake name, because in Mexico, under cartel protection, he feels untouchable. March 6, 2025, the FBI adds Ryan Wedding to the 10 most wanted fugitive lists. The initial reward, $10 million. By November 2025, it's increased to $15 million, one of the highest rewards ever offered. FBI Director Kash Patel holds a press conference, and he says, make no mistake about it, Ryan Wedding is a modern-day iteration of Pablo Escobar. He's a modern-day iteration of El Chapo. Andrew Clark, Wedding's alleged second-in-command, was arrested in October of 2024. Heavily armed Mexican troops descended on a shopping mall restaurant in Guadalajara. Clark was then extradited to the U.S., and he is awaiting trial. But Ryan Wedding is still out there. The FBI believes he is somewhere in Mexico, living under this cartel's protection. As of January 2026, Ryan Wedding remains at large. All right, we have some breaking news. As of January 23rd, 2026, the manhunt is over. Ryan Wedding, the former Olympic snowboarder turned alleged cocaine kingpin, has been arrested. We brought you a full story breakdown of this Olympic crime and how Ryan Wedding has been on the run. He's been on the FBI list. And as of Thursday night, in Mexico City, after more than a year on the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitive list, after a $15 million reward after allegedly ordering multiple murders, Ryan Wedding is in custody. FBI Director 𝗤𝗄𝗧 confirmed the arrest Friday morning, saying Ryan James Wedding was taken into custody in Mexico last night. He is being transported to the U.S. to face justice. Now, the 44-year-old Canadian who competed at the 2002 Salt Lake City Winter Olympics had been hiding in Mexico for over a decade under the protection, allegedly, of the Sinaloa cartel. And now he's being flown back to the United States on a plane with FBI Director 𝗤𝗄𝗧 himself. This is the sixth FBI 10 most wanted fugitive captured in the past year. And according to Patel, this is one of the biggest wins in the fight against transnational drug trafficking. Again, this is all an unlikely story. This guy was an Olympian, and he says now this individual and the Sinaloa cartel has poured narcotics into the streets of North America and killed too many of our youth and too many of our citizens, Patel said in a press conference on Friday. And that ends today. So let's dig into exactly how they found him. Here is what we know right now. Again, facts and information can change, but the arrest happened Thursday night in Mexico City. 𝗤𝗄𝗧, FBI director, was already in Mexico on what he had called a previously planned trip, meeting with Mexican authorities, cooperation on cross-border cases, blah, 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 blah. But behind the scenes, U.S. and Mexican law enforcement had been closing in on Wedding, according to these reports. In December of 2025, Mexican authorities raided multiple locations in Mexico City. What did they find? Well, they found dozens of motorcycles worth an estimated $40 million, 2 Olympic medals, likely Ryan Wedding's from his career, 2 vehicles, drugs, artwork, cash, all believed to belong to Ryan Wedding. So this is like the smoking gun. Okay, we know where he is. They feel as though they're getting closer. Then on Thursday night, January 22nd, 2026, the operation goes down. According to Mexican Security Secretary Omar Garcia-Harfuch, 2 detainees were taken into custody. One is a Canadian citizen who turned himself in at the U.S. Embassy. 2, an FBI most wanted fugitive detained by Mexican authorities. Okay. A Mexican security official speaking anonymously told the Associated Press that Wedding was the Canadian who turned himself in. So, wait, he turned himself in. Okay, well, that's interesting. That's the story that's being reported right now. But here's where it starts getting murky. And again, all of this information is coming out quick and it's changing. But FBI Director 𝗤𝗄𝗧 won't confirm or deny whether someone claimed the $15 million reward. He says it was an interagency-wide effort involving the U.S., Mexico, and Canada, which usually means informants, surveillance, financial tracking, pressure being put on people. Former RCMP investigator Bruce Pitt Payne told CTV News that it could have been an informant, a random sighting, following accounts and information that are out there everywhere. There are many footprints, including on the internet, but often it's somebody saying, hey, we know where this guy is. Translation to all this, somebody talked, right? And when you've got a $15 million bounty on your head and the FBI, RCMP, and Mexican authorities are breathing down your neck, turning yourself in, it might be the best option at the end of the day, because the alternative, getting taken down by force, if you don't want to die, you want to live to see another day, you turn yourself in, presumably. Now, Friday morning, January 23rd, 2026, Ontario International Airport, that's east of Los Angeles. A plane lands. FBI Director Kash Patel steps off the plane. Behind him is Ryan Wedding, this fugitive, in custody, in handcuffs, on U.S. soil. And so, yeah, now he's in custody. The truth is, innocent people end up in true crime stories every day. Don't let it be you. Download the Protect Yourself toolkit below. But for now, keep the true crime binge watching going because we've got another unbelievable episode ready for you to watch right now.